Everyone hear me okay? Great. It's a pleasure to be here today to talk about a really interesting initiative that our county has moved forward with and completed a pilot project, which we have called our Contra Costa County Asthma Initiative. And next slide, please. And we'll be talking about really why we took on this action. And as you can see in the slide, we have 300,000 Contra Costa residents that live in the census tract that ranks in the 95 percentile or higher of asthma emergency department uh, rates statewide. This is the highest number of people in any county in the state and the fourth highest by percent of county residents in the state. Really this map really tells the story. It shows where our point source emissions are from large point source emissions from air quality. And this gives you an idea of why we're in the situation we're in and really motivated our county to kind of work closely with our health department and which is in my department, the conservation and development, we work on energy efficiency as well and energy efficiency programs. So kind of bringing those two together. Next slide. So how did we get all this started with our asthma initiative? We started with tackling going after a technical assistance grant through the Green and Healthy Homes Initiative to develop a business plan to expand services to improve health outcomes. That was really the result of this. So we did complete that. We have a business plan that was completed in late 2019. And then we were also awarded a phase two technical assistance grant, which was to research the feasibility of integrating our project into the state healthcare billing system, see how we could pull in funding from the state healthcare billing system to see how we can leverage additional funding for this. With that business plan, we were able to get, we applied for two grants, which we used to combine our project for doing asthma related retrofits related to energy efficiency programs. And that was really connecting our county health plan with our emergency ER visits related to in-home asthma education and energy efficiency services. So what we did is one of the unique things that our county has is a county health plan. A lot of counties don't actually run and administer their own health plan. So the health plan actually had a benefit. They saw our business plan and they helped put together some of the stuff related to our business plan, some of the demographic information to come up with a case for, how can we reduce asthma cases to help reduce, the cost of healthcare. Next slide. So what did we do? We put together a proposal which included a lot of people at the table, including our county weatherization program manager. We worked with the Association of Energy Affordability staff, as well as myself and the Contra Costa Health Services, some health experts as well, to put together kind of a setup for doing asthma education, home visits with a home energy assessment, trigger remediation, and then we would decide based on what's going on inside the home, whether they needed to get weatherization services or energy efficiency services through the grant that we received through the Sierra Health Foundation, which was $500,000 and a $100,000 grant from the air district, the Bay Area's air district. Next slide. So really what I wanted to talk about is we just finished this project in the end of calendar year, I think 2023. And, we started it in 2021 through the pandemic. We had to do a lot of things where, we were originally going to go into the home and do visits, and then we had to go to pivot to virtual visits, and a lot of things changed as we were moving things along. But we ended up doing 150 first home visits. We ended up doing 185 supply drop-offs. We were supposed to only do, uh, you know, uh, up to 3 home visits. We ended up having to do a fourth home visit for various reasons. And one of our outcomes here was, and if you can go online, you can actually check what your asthma control test score. It's a very simple test score you can do. I actually did it myself. and then it tells you. So we had all of our clients do this after they got the education, and it shows that their score did go up a little bit based on some of the work that we've done. Next slide. So this is some of our more detailed information, and granted, this data and cost is from, most of our energy efficiency retrofits actually happened in 2023-ish, right towards the end. We ended up getting 12, 12 of the homes upgraded that qualified for energy efficiency projects, and of the 12, these are some of the uh, listed measures. Eight of the 12 got electric panel upgrades, which is a key uh, barrier to a lot of this, doing a lot of these improvements, getting natural gas out of the home. Six stove replacements, some duct air window replacements, and then there were cleaning supply services as well. So we went in, we realized these homes needed to be cleaned up. That would help their asthma. We did a lot of that. We also did air purifiers as well with separate funding on top of that, which wasn't included here. But there's a lot of information that we did. But what was, I think, helpful is like, here's the average cost if you want to do this, and if you want to try to do it um, in the best way we could with the limited amount of funding that we had. This was how we did it. Next slide. And one of our focuses was like, there's always this big issue with rental properties, right? The landlord, we call it the landlord tenant dilemma of like, how can we get access? And we were trying to, one of the things we wanted to test was how difficult it was to actually get a hold of landlords and actually have some data on that. So this shows, we went out to reach out to landlords and gave us all the data related to that. And, basically what we found out is, 32% were unresponsive, 29% declined, and 37% actually agreed to do the work. And we tried to caveat it as like, look, we're trying to do this. We're not trying to, we don't want their rent to go up as a result of these improvements. Those were things that we would tell them, but we don't have a lot of control over that. But that was something we wanted to address. Next slide. So lessons learned. This is a little bit of a wordy slide. It was much wordier earlier this week. Um, but what we really learned was maintaining a tight timeline between visits is really important for keeping our clients interested in participating. And I should mention, I hadn't mentioned earlier on, the cost for all of these retrofits, it was totally 100% cost through this program. So the participant didn't have to pay for anything. One of the things that was the benefits of going through the health this program was we had a health worker that was hired full time to manage these projects. So the county health worker, really, they go onto the site. They already have trust because they're health. They're a person from the county health department. They're there to help them, and it was easier to get by on early on. But we would lose people along the way because it would take too long to get from one step to the next step and get them connected. And I think if I were to do this again, my biggest lesson learned would be like, have it super efficient, maybe integrate it with through your phone on an app. What we've learned with other interviewing other programs across the United States is that if you can have it all integrated in an app and it's quick for them to communicate with the program staff about everything that's going on and have regular updates via text to remind them, keep them updated to make sure that they're going to be there available for any of the appointments that need to be made to do that. That would be probably the best use of our time. So that was something we learned. And then, prioritizing landlord engagement, we want to try to figure out how to do that. And that was one of the things we really wanted to work on is um, how do we work with landlords, build trust with them about programs like this is something we're going to be an ongoing thing. And then only 6 homes received measures for for an additional program. So um, it's just really hard to layer different programs with different program managers and coordination on all that to make it all work. There's always some issues there. I'm sure other people are familiar with that. And then the plan for regional variations in the Medi-Cal Cal AIM program. This came from our health officer. This was kind of what their findings were in terms of why there were some issues on this. And then I think for us, I think the frustrating part for us was like we really wanted to go all in with the health department on this, work with the health plan to build and connect it with energy efficiency. And at the end of the day, after this pilot program, our health plan was like, this was a lot of work, and they're like not in the energy efficiency field. And what they ended up doing is that we were able to figure out how to bill cost from Medicare, Medi-Cal on this. I think it's $700 per client to do asthma education and mitigation. And they did hire a third party to do that, but they didn't want to get in the business of connecting with energy efficiency for now. But we also lost like our lead person from the health department who was advocating for the connection of both um, health and energy efficiency and how that can improve health outcomes because they recently retired, and we're trying to figure out how to reestablish that connection with our health department at this time. But I think that concludes my slides, and thank you for uh, hearing out what we've learned through this process. Appreciate it.